Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hetrick's Morning Mug, episode 97. Hello, privet, salve. Coming at you again from an undisclosed location. Today's mug, generic, paper, recyclable, with a cautionary tale for you. It's all right. Okay, lots to go over today. I'm not used to being in a space where I hear myself echo so much, so hopefully I'm talking loud enough that you can hear me. So this day, the 20th of June, 1214, Oxford receives its charter, as in Oxford University. 1895, Caroline Willard Baldwin is the first female to earn a PhD in the sciences. It was specifically in physics from Cornell. 1975, two notes and you have a villain. Da-da, da-da. Jaws premieres. Ooh. 1789, the Third Estate in France takes its oath on the tennis court. So let me give you just a little bit of French Revolution context. Three estates: clergy, monarchy, and everybody else. The majority of the population falls into the Third Estate. Majority of the population, they only get the same amount of vote as the other two estates. So the assembly was meeting with the three estates, and things are not going very well. The Third Estate is like, hey, we deserve to have more, more rights and more of a say in what's going on. So they're closed off from meeting, but they find another place at the Palace of Versailles. It's an indoor tennis court. So that group gets together, makes this oath, basically saying we will not stop until we draft a constitution. So I'm going to put some documentation in the description for you. 1963, the United States and the Soviet Union install a nuclear hotline phone. That's why I said hello, privet. Did you like my Cyrillic? I tried to write in the Cyrillic alphabet. Galen, if you're watching this, look what I did. And I started to wipe it off. Whoops. I tried. So previous year in the fall, I think October of 62 would have been the Cuban Missile Crisis. Hot tension between the two countries, and saying, hey, let's try to avoid some miscommunication if we have a quick way to contact each other. So we pick up the phone in Washington and it rings and there is someone to answer it 24/7 in Moscow. There is still this connectivity between the United States and now Russia, because the Soviet Union no longer exists, but it is a secured computer connection, not telephone. So going on with this hello thing. Hello? Is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your smile. You're all that. Oh, okay, that's getting creepy. Lionel Richie, happy birthday. Commodores, a lot of singles as a solo artist, so I'm going to throw some of those in the playlist. Born this day, 1949, so happy birthday, Lionel Richie. Also born today, John Goodman, Nicole Kidman. So celebrations all around. This day in history, 1863, West Virginia enters the Union. And 1782, we have the adoption of the Great Seal. So one of the reasons the screen looks a little bit different today is I'm going to use a technology to show you some things. I'm going into teacher mode here for a second. So you may have seen this before. This is the Great Seal of the United States of America. The seal of the President of the United States uses this as a base. The State Department utilizes the Great Seal, and a number of other government agencies as well. They might just add some stuff to it. But let's kind of zoom in a little bit and take a look. So I don't know if you can see my cursor or not. Hopefully you can. So we, of course, here have the American bald eagle. We have the Latin inscription, hence the reason why for today's mug I said salve, because that is Latin for hello or a greeting. E pluribus unum, out of many, one. What we have here, right in the middle of the eagle, is our first word of the day, escutcheon. Escutcheon. An escutcheon is in a seal or a coat of arms, because that's essentially what this is. That's kind of the shield there in the center. So you can see we have a blue field here up top. There are no stars, so it's not trying to recreate the flag. But this blue field here is meant to represent Congress. We have the stripes, white representing innocence and red representing valor. Both very important. Over here in the talon, you can see this olive branch being a symbol of peace. But also, not only are we able to initiate peace when we need to, but also on the opposite talon, the opposite side, we have arrows, okay, representing the ability to engage in war should we have to. Up above the eagle, right here, we see a bunch of stars in a constellation, symbolizing that the United States is now a state among other sovereign nations. So you look up to the greats, you look up to the sky. We are now one of those greats. And if we go to the back of the seal, the reason why I pulled this particular one is the front and the back of the Great Seal can be found on the $1 bill. So that's why this one is not particularly in color. But a couple symbols there. The symbol of the pyramid meant to be strength and duration. So this is, our country is not a, this grand experiment that is going to be short-lived, but a long one. The eye, the all-seeing eye. Okay, we can talk about symbolism of the Masons, but we're not gonna. If you want to learn a little bit about it and maybe kind of get into some of the conspiracy theory end of things, I suggest dum dum da da dum 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 da dum 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 da da dum 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 dum. Here's your daily dose of hikes, y'all. Oh, what? Oh. So continuing with the Dan Brown series of books involving Robert Langdon, played by Tom Hanks in the film versions, one that you can check out is called The Lost Symbol. I have a copy. Let me know. I'll lend it to you. Or go to your local library that we talked about previously. I believe that was episode 94, 94, 95. Check that one out. Literally. Did you see what I did there? I made a joke. Check that one out. So The Lost Symbol was not made into a film. They were working on it, and then last I saw 2013 or so, it got scrapped. I would love it. I would love for all of the Dan Brown books that have Robert Langdon to be made into films. They just need to do The Lost Symbol, and we need to do Origin. We need to do that one as well. But anywho, so digging into the Great Seal and what all these things represent is in The Lost Symbol. Highly recommended. Okay, so that eye representing providence. And if we consider annuit, that's a C-O-E, copetus. Providence has favored our undertakings. And what else did I write down about this one? Novus Order Seclorum, a new order of the ages. Oh, we're new and we're progressive when we start out. Epicness. And you can see down here at the bottom, we have the Roman numerals and just a quick review. Here you go. Here's the breakdown for these Roman numerals. We don't have to worry about any subtraction. When you have a larger Roman numeral followed by, a smaller one followed by a larger one, then you have to do some subtraction and it's a mess. But let's do the math together. M is 1,000. D is 500, so we're at 1,500. CC, that's another 200, so that's 1,700. We have an L, 1,750 plus 20, 60, 70, so 1,776, 1776. There she be. I did all that. Yeah, so the other thing I have to share with you today is about candy. So I was doing just a little bit of digging, way overwhelmed with the amount of stuff for Reese's peanut butter cups because I talked about them the other day. I'm just like, oh. So enough peanut butter cups are manufactured for every single individual to get one from this combined list of places. So everybody in the population gets one. They have enough. The United States, Japan, all of Europe, Australia, all of China, Africa, and India. And I'd like to add that China and India, with populations of over 1 billion, not a lot. That's, yeah. And in my reading, here's another word of the day. Another word of the day. Arachibutyrphobia. Arachibutyrphobia. A fear of swallowing peanut butter, especially a fear of peanut butter on the roof of your mouth. Think Mr. Ed. I'm not saying that's something I would do when I was playing with the dogs, just a little bit of peanut butter. But for some, that is a very significant fear, and it's not up to us to make fun of them. So for those, if you do have arachibutyrphobia, let me know. I'll eat the Reese's peanut butter cups for you. So, all right, slightly rainy today on this Saturday. Actually was up at a decent time. My mug research took me about an hour. I go down the rabbit hole a little too often. And I'm like, oh, really? Let's watch an episode of this. Let's take a look at this, YouTube link or whatever. So, hopefully you learned a little something, whether it's about the Great Seal or something else. So I hope you enjoy your day. So until tomorrow, my friends, behave, be good, be kind, wash your hands, recycle. Remember the hydration thing that we talked about? Really important. It's still going to be really important. So I think tomorrow I'm going to give some previews and maybe a little homework for you in preparation for the 100th episode that is coming up next week. So for the latest updates, please make sure that you check out the Morning Mug on Facebook. And I'll do my best to have some things ready for that for tomorrow. So until then, bye.